Alrighty then, welcome to the OC, bitch.
Whatcha say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. Whatcha say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
Whatcha say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
That's just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I thought we
Whatcha
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Lise Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together
We're the Dailies.
Dailies.
Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week we suddenly transfer to our friend's high school just to discuss the hit 2000s teen drama series, The OC. This week, Season 1, Episode 17, The Rivals.
Scott, did you ever have any rivals?
Did I have any rivals? In high school? Mm-hmm. I didn't have any rivals in high school. I guess, I don't know. High school to me was not what stereotypical high school was. High school to me was mostly just, everyone had their own cliques and they left everyone else alone. True. I can only think of, one or two times where people were just mean to me in high school. Middle school was where I had people that I just feel like they had it out for me. There were just some people in gym class that were just mean to me.
What would they do?
I don't even remember. They were just mean. They just said mean shit constantly.
Sorry. You think it was Scott Michael Foster?
No.
No,
Scott
did
Michael
he not go
Foster
to middle
was
school
college,
with you?
Yeah, or high school. He was not middle school. No.
Wow.
I did one time. I had I used to read 7th grade. I would read over lunch because I didn't have very many friends until 8th grade. 8th grade, I had a bunch of friends. 7th grade, didn't have too many friends. But I would read over lunch. And one time I was reading Starship Troopers, the Heinlein book, and I had a lunch. I had one of those foam lunch boxes. You know the type, not foam. They're the plush soft. It's one of the soft lunch boxes with the zipper.
Yeah.
I forget.
In middle school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
In middle school, you don't have a lunchbox.
And I kept my book in there. And then one time my book fell out of it. And people kicked it and it was ruined. I ruined my daddy's book. And I felt real bad about that.
I'm sorry, Scott.
I feel like you're making fun of me right now. And I
No,
just told
I'm
a very
sad that
hurtful
happened.
story.
I am.
Anyway,
I'm sad that happened.
let's talk about the OC.
Okay. But before we do that, Scott, it's everyone's favorite time of the show.
Which is?
It's the Roses and Thornies show.
Every rose has its thorn.
Has its thorn.
Just like every night has its dawn.
Dawn, dawn, dawn.
Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah. Jesus. This is the part of the podcast where Elise and I look back on the last week and talk about the good and the bad, or as we call them, the rosies and the thornies. And as always, we start with the bad stuff to get that out of the way first. Elise,
True.
what is your thorn for this week?
So, Scott, we've tried to do something that people generally do around the holidays, and they have Christmas cards.
This is the first time we've ever tried to do this.
It's the first time ever. And so I know that you are not fond of photographs and just going to get pictures taken. And so I thought,
no.
A way to get around that is instead of us going to get pictures taken, let's just use one of our pictures and have this Etsy thing or whatever, make a family photo with our dogs and all of that. And that'll be cute.
It's adorable.
It's really precious. I love it. I'm super excited about it. That's the best thing. And then we decided to get it printed on a card. And hooray, it was 40% off at the place that we were going to get it printed this weekend. So we said same day delivery Saturday. That way I had all of Sunday in order to put addresses on it and we could get it out on Monday. Except that's not what happened because we received the confirmation email. The time that it was supposed to be ready, we went to go pick them up and they weren't ready. And they saw my name in the queue.
They did.
And
Daily.
they said, you know what, it should be printing. Just wait for the confirmation email. Waiting for the confirmation email, nothing comes. So we call, and when we call, they say, oh, the machine is broken, and there's not going to be anyone in order to fix it until when?
Monday.
Yes,
at
Monday.
4 p.m.
Which it wasn't at 4. They called me. Spoilers. They called me
Spoilers.
today at noon or like a little afternoon and said that it was ready.
So what? It was the one by our house, not the one.
No.
Okay.
And so, anyways, they said that wasn't going to happen. So I said, well, why can't you just transfer my order to the other one? And they said, no, we don't transfer. If you want to go in and resubmit it, that's fine.
There are 10 of this place. Are we saying CVS? Fuck
CVS.
There are 10 CVS's within like 5 miles of our house. Like, it's truly ridiculous. We live close enough to the city where there's just like a CVS fucking everywhere. And the idea that they're like, we can't do it.
You have the order number. Just call and give the order number to somebody else.
Like, look, here's my thing. I get shit breaks, right? Sometimes your shit breaks. You got a printer. Sometimes it breaks. That's unfortunate. I think that's fine.
Oh, but here's the deal. So we said, okay, well, fine. We'll just call and see if the other one has the working machine. And if it does, we'll submit the order again. So did that. I called. They said, yeah, the guy was very helpful. He said, you know, what was the paper type? He got all the information. He counted to make sure he had enough paper. And then 2 hours after the time that it was supposed to be ready, because I was trying to patiently wait and get the confirmation email so that I didn't go up there and get upset again, he called and said that as it was printing, their machine still got jammed.
So at this point, I'm thinking it is our specific card that is jamming the machine, and we did something wrong.
It's fine. We got them. They're here.
They're beautiful.
They're okay.
They're actually just fine. They're not.
They're
great.
okay. It's fine. Next year will be better. Mm-hmm. We'll go get pictures taken.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, then you've got to figure out how to do it next year.
Okay.
Okay. I'm done. Moving on. What's your thorn, Scott?
You know that the Frosty the Snowman movie, the Rankin and Bass Frosty the Snowman movie, the cartoon, Rankin and Bass.
Is that what it's called?
Original, yes. The original Frosty the Snowman movie.
Not the claymation.
No, the cartoon.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Jesus. Okay. Do you know the magician in that movie that's chasing after Frosty? This is really annoying me.
I can't remember this. I'm going to have to look it up to see if I have Rankin.
I'm so upset right now.
Rankin Bass Frosty the Snowman.
Yes. I'm so upset. This has become my thorn right now.
Oh no, I remember this magician
when Frosty
now.
comes out and says, "Happy birthday."
I got it now.
So
we're good.
There's a magician in that thing, and one of the things the magician says
Clear recall.
One of the things the magician says is, busy, busy, busy. That's how I feel right now. I'm so freaking busy.
Like a magician.
No, just like a human that's really busy.
But if you were a magician, Scott, you could just
You're focusing
have
on
a spell.
all the wrong
and
parts.
then it would be fine.
The point is, it's a very busy time of year. We got lots of stuff going on. We're going out of town for 5 days on Wednesday, which is putting me even more behind. And I'm just super, super busy in every aspect of my life.
Yeah, it's
in
making
home
me pretty
life,
stressed
in
out.
job number 1, in job number 2. We got a puppy to take care of. We're just putting lights up. We're just putting... There's so many damn things right now.
You know what? After this
it's
year,
a little overwhelming.
I might just have to say we have to do Christmas before Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, what?
Put up the decorations.
What?
It's been so I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it all.
Well, this is a particularly bad year, babe. It's not. It's just the year. Don't start saying weird things, like breaking rules in the future. It's just the year. It's a busy. I can't believe you don't remember that Frosty show.
I remember now.
Remember he gets locked in the greenhouse and it's like melting, and then there's the rabbit in the hat and he gets mad and the magician's really mean. Mm-hmm. And he says, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, he does. Only you do a much better job.
Thank you.
Danny.
What?
Impressions. So good.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful. Elise, what's your rose? Let's get out of the bad stuff out of the way. What's your rose?
Well, you kind of said it. We did get not all of, but part of our Christmas lights up, and that just makes me happy that we got something up. It's not everything.
We got more work to
but
do.
it's something. We're not going to be able to get it done.
We'll get it done.
No, Scott. We're gone this weekend, and then we come back, and it's the weekend right before. It's not going to get done.
It'll get done.
Okay.
You have little faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put up some lights. We put up our snowman. We got Frosty out there, and he's got his magic hat.
I think he's falling over too, but it's
Is he
fine.
falling over?
Yeah, he was leaning.
Oh. Baby steps.
Yeah. Yep. But something's up.
Mm-hmm.
What's your rose?
My rose is our puppy dog. But specifically, Elise has decided that our dog needs a bath once a week because she's a puppy and she rolls around outside and gets very dirty and she just needs a bath. And so every Saturday, Elise gives Penny a bath, and it's the most hilarious thing in the world because Penny is a very fluffy dog, but when she gets wet, she's a little rat. It's just really funny. And I watch Elise bathe the dog, and I'm standing there offering support if need be. And the dog, Penny and I lock eye contact the entire bath, and she's just looking at me like she's a little shriveled rat, just looking at me like, help.
Yeah, you could wash her.
What?
You want me to be the bad guy?
I'll do it if you want me to.
No, it's fine. You be the bad guy and put her in her crate at night, and I'll be the bad guy and wash her.
Okay.
We both have our bad guy things.
She doesn't mind being put in the crate at night. She's usually asleep. I just pick her up and she wakes up and looks at me and I put her in the crate and she goes, thanks, and immediately falls back asleep.
Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. I love Penny bath time. It's very funny. We'll have to get a picture of what she looks like next time because it's really, really funny. And then you just let her out of the bathtub and you just let her wander around the house soaking wet, rubbing all over everything.
I dry her off. She's pretty hard to get completely dried.
All right, Elise.
What?
That is enough with Rosies and Thornies. Let's talk about the OC.
Okay.
Let's talk about this episode.
The Rivals.
Do I handle the introduction or do you? I think I forgot to change this. I think you're doing
well, this. The Rivals is the 17th episode of the season 1 of the OC.
You reading comprehension, babe.
It was written by creator Josh Schwartz and directed by Ian Toynton, who previously directed The Gamble, the one with the casino night. Because, yeah, Gamble and Casino. Anyways. It originally aired on January 21st, 2004.
You put those together. I'm so impressed.
Well, I just don't understand why you wanted to explain The Gamble is the one with the casino night.
Because I'm refreshing people's memory about what the episode was.
Well, if it's The Gamble, that's going to be Casino.
If I had just told you they directed The Gamble, would you immediately have gone, oh yeah, it's the one with the casino?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, some other people wouldn't, and I was trying to refresh their memories.
Well, you know what? You should give our listeners some credit
night.
for being smart.
Okay.
Scott.
I didn't remember what episode that was until I looked it up, so I thought I would just write it down
remember?
for people.
I was giving you some credit, Scott.
Apparently,
maybe credit taken back.
Being really mean to me today.
Scott, will you tell me about the episode, please?
Ryan continues to become suspicious of Oliver when he suddenly transfers to Harbor High and begin making plans of his own with Marissa. But Ryan's attempts to try to expose Oliver of the person that he is gets met with negative approval from everyone, especially Seth, leading to a familiar situation. What is Summer shows off her new boyfriend Danny to Seth and Anna, who correctly think that Summer is just showing off to satisfy her own ego. Meanwhile, Sandy and Jimmy prepare to sign the lease papers to build their own seafood restaurant at the lighthouse, but Jimmy doesn't know if he's ready for this new business venture.
Yeah. We left out Kirsten and Julie.
Kirsten and Julie got totally cut out. Also, Summer was not to show off her own ego?
Scott, yes, she was.
Okay. Elise, what were your overall thoughts on episode 17, The Rivals?
I'm right, Scott.
What are you right about?
Oliver.
Of course you're right about Oliver. You knew already. It's not like your powers of prediction just were
Scott, correct. I'm right. I predicted it and I'm right.
You know what I like about this episode though, and we're going to spend some time on it as we go through it. Ryan is punished. That's what I like about this episode. Because I've been saying these last 2 weeks that while Ryan is right about Oliver. The way he is acting is not correct. And that is what this episode is about. This episode is about, despite Ryan being 100% correct about Oliver, the way he's going about it is nuts. And on my second viewing, like, I really keyed into the fact that Ryan sounds crazy a lot of times.
Oh,
the
yeah.
way he's talking here. And like Seth, when Seth is like, whoa, dude, you know something's up. And Seth is like yelling at him basically. And he's just not listening to anyone. And I think a show is well written when you watch a moment unfold and you know the character is going to make the wrong decision. You know they're going to make it. And you're like, please don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up. Please, they fucked it up. And it's just like, I think it's just like, it to me shows that that the episode's working on you when you're just like so fucking disappointed in the character. You knew they were going to do it, and yet you're still so disappointed when they actually do it. And that's what this episode was to me. I really liked this episode. I really, really liked it.
Well, it's because Josh Schwartz wrote it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think he has maybe one of the better
Very
grasps of his characters, maybe.
good understanding of the teenage years. Forever teenager, Josh.
That's weird.
Yes. So we open this episode with Ryan and Seth. They're walking to school and they're talking about who else but Oliver. And what I really like about this episode too is that we do get little snippets of Cyan. My brain. Seth and Ryan time. There's like little moments here and there, and they get their little conversations, which is good because we get Seth and Ryan time, but also it means that Ryan and Marissa are not hanging out as much as they used to.
Yeah, well,
So
it's because of Trouble in Paradise. And we do see that like they're both got their own issues, right? Seth is expressing doubt once again about Ryan's side of the events, right? With the last episode, Ryan was convinced that Oliver faked the suicide attempt, which he did. And Seth's like, I don't know, man. Like, I kind of understand why Marissa feels this way if you tell her that her friend faked his own suicide. But regardless, introduces the obvious truth that Ryan is jealous. And Ryan says, no, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. He, like, over and over again throughout this episode, it's not jealousy. I'm just scared of this guy.
babe,
It's jealousy.
he's jealous.
He's jealous, yeah.
Yeah, he's jealous.
Seth thinks correctly that he should make peace with him, that regardless of his concerns, he should try to be friends. What is the line in this? I think try to do the friend thing that is repeated over and over again throughout this story. It's repeated here, and it's repeated when Seth and Anna are talking about our friendly neighborhood Leno lover. So basically, good advice. Good advice. Try despite everything, try to make friends with him. And then Seth brings up the B plot of this episode, which is that Marissa and Ryan have a yin and a yang. They fight. There's conflict. They don't agree on everything. And he and Anna are all yang. They agree all the time. They like all the same things. They don't fight about anything.
They like Avatar.
What?
Aang. I bet you they both like Avatar.
What?
Isn't Aang
but
the character?
it's yang.
I mean, no, it's just Aang.
Yeah, but yin and yang.
No, it's just Yin and Aang.
I'm so confused. I like
What?
how you picked up on just enough of Avatar from me watching it to try to incorrectly try to put it into this situation. Well done.
You're welcome.
It's the old classic yin and yang.
At least I didn't say Yin and Avatar.
That is true. There's no spark, I think is what he's saying, right? There's no spark. And this is a carryover from what we talked about last week, that when Anna said, you're like brother and sister, she hit a nerve there.
She did.
And what does Seth ask Ryan?
Am I dating the female me?
And yes.
And they both pause. Yeah.
The answer is yes. The answer is
yes.
And I do feel like the show is kind of setting us up. I mean, I think it's going to be a few episodes, but we're heading down the road of this relationship not working out. But we'll see.
I like Anna, though.
I do like Anna.
But that's because I like Seth.
I like
and
Anna.
if Seth and Anna are the same person.
I think Seth and Anna as like characters going forward on the show would be really great, but not as a couple.
It's friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, Ryan goes to meet up with Marissa, who is still upset. So he tries to apologize for his behavior. He does a good job. They're going to move on. And then all of a sudden, one of the people comes out and says that there's a new transfer student. And the transfer student knows Ryan and Marissa. And it's just so great. But Scott, I'm kind of wondering who's transferring in that would know both Ryan and Marissa.
A door swings shut. And the music goes... Boom, boom, boom.
How does the music go? And what does the whale say, Scott?
It's Oliver. It's Oliver.
California, here we come.
We go into our opening credits on a very ominous note. We finally reached a piece. Like Ryan was going to deal with it. It's going to be okay. And here comes Oliver.
Yeah.
What is the Luke bloop 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 for Oliver? We need one for Oliver. Could it be? Why do you always do things so loud? I like.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to do that then, because I cannot. That's
Come
for
on,
sure.
You can do it. We come back from the. You got it. You got it. Back from the opening credits, Seth and Anna, who are basically dressed exactly the same. They have a yellow T-shirt on with what are those jackets called?
Bomber.
Those are bomber jackets? No, they're not.
Oh no, they're track jackets.
Yeah, they were track
Sorry.
jackets, right? Yeah. They basically have a green track jacket on over a yellow T-shirt. They look exactly the same, but they're trying to mix things up. Seth offers they get into muscle car racing, Krav Maga, anything but an IMAX movie about migrating birds. And look, I know Seth and Anna are supposed to be nerds, but an IMAX movie about migrating birds?
I mean, that's a little much.
I don't remember much about 2004. I feel like there were much more fun things to do for nerds than IMAX movies about migrating birds.
Like, go watch the Avatar.
It wasn't out yet, baby.
Oh, it wasn't?
2004,
Man.
That's why I can't...
This is 2004.
No, I'm saying in 2004, Avatar was not out yet.
Oh. When did it come out?
There was no yin and yang, baby. I don't know. When did Avatar come out?
You should know this.
How should
you
I know
just
this?
did episodes over it.
2008. No, 2005. 2005. It finished in 2008. So you're a year off. Sorry, babe. No yin and yang until next year.
Okay.
All right. Where we?
You think we're too similar?
No,
You think
I'm
that
asking the question.
Oh.
I'm asking the question.
Scott.
Huh?
No. I think we both appreciate some of the same things,
Yeah, that is true.
but I think that we are both extremely different people.
That is very true as well.
Yes.
I think one thing we can say for sure that this podcast has taught us is we are very different people. Especially when we were picking movies for each other to watch, and yours were awful and mine were great.
Strike that. Reverse it.
No.
Come with me.
I think we, if I
we'll be.
if I can be so bold, we are the
In a
perfect
world
mix of similar yet different.
imagination.
Are you? What? I don't. Why? Where is this coming from?
Scott.
Why are you?
Whenever I think strike that, reverse it, I think Willy Wonka.
Okay, you're right. That's fair. That's fair.
So
But
I'm just singing the Willy
But
Wonka
here,
song.
let me pose something to you. Every time you think of a movie with music in it, you don't have to immediately sing
Scott,
the
it's
music.
just a song that I really like.
I like it too, but I don't know where it was coming from. You're just singing.
I explained it to you.
I know,
how my brain jumped there.
I understand how your brain got there. But the question is, at what point did your brain say, I gotta let this out of my mouth?
The moment it came into the brain.
Because you have no filter. You have zero filter. What am I doing? Of course, I know that. Let's
It's there. I
move
have
on.
to spit it out. Okay. So the gang all meets up, but the gang, Scott, is the gang plus Oliver.
We got the Four Musketeers and Oliver.
Yeah. But then, there's also Luke.
Well,
Luke's always welcome. Luke can come around and hang out anytime. So Marissa and Oliver, Scott, they have the exact same schedule. How could that happen?
That's the biggest coincidence ever. How did that happen?
I transfer in and just take all the same classes as the person that I know already goes there and that I like the most.
You know what the weird thing to me is here?
What?
I've been very suspect of Oliver since the beginning. I've had these long, complex theories, and the show has not revealed any of these things to be truths.
You think it kind of has now?
Well, I don't know. No, because I don't think we finished this episode going like, of course that weirdness at Oliver's New Year's party made sense. Doesn't seem like it did.
Well, maybe not there, but
What?
I think that now, at the end of this episode, some of the things are confirmed.
I don't know. I don't know. Remember, I was like, how come Anna doesn't know Oliver's name? And I was like, had this huge conspiracy theory. And it doesn't seem like that's going anywhere.
No.
How come he was not at the front on the list? Doesn't seem like that's going anywhere at the concert. So there's things about him that, like, the Natalie stuff we finally get. I'm guessing. They don't actually ever say the name of the girl that put the restraining order on him, but I'm making the mental leap that this is Natalie.
Okay.
I don't know. You're doing that thing where you're like very like cagey and like not even.
I can reveal.
You're not even
no
wanting to look
things.
at me in the eyes.
I cannot confirm, neither deny.
Dornai?
I don't know what's the matter with my brain, Scott.
I can neither confirm nor deny. You just got an accent today. That's fine.
Scott, I can neither confirm nor deny anything.
If it helps your speech patterns to talk in an accent for the rest of the episode,
Sandy
go for
and
it.
Jimmy. They go to lunch and they look at the lighthouse so that Jimmy doesn't have to move to Phoenix.
Yeah, but isn't this like this is like the next day presumably, and they were drunk the night before, and Sandy's like all gung ho about doing this.
Sandy wants to do this,
and Jimmy's like, "Dude, we were drunk. We were 5 martinis deep. That's a lot of martinis. Holy shit."
I kind of want to have martinis. I need to be a martini person. My sister is saying that, and it made me think.
What do you like?
Martinis.
Do you like gin?
You know, I have not had a lot of gin.
Do you like vodka?
I can do vodka.
Do you like vermouth?
I don't know. I like olives.
Well, there you go. Just have a very dirty martini.
Okay. Let's go get some martinis.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I like a gin martini or a vodka martini better.
Do you think when we go to Disney, they'll let me have a martini around the world?
A Mickey Mouse martini? Mm-hmm. I'm sure one of the around the world countries will have martinis.
You think so?
I don't actually know.
Do you think that there are specified drinks?
What? Like
Are
to
there
complete the
specified
challenge?
drinks? Yeah.
I mean, each world in Epcot. We can't talk about this on the podcast. Each world in Epcot has a different set of drinks. Yes.
I hope none of them are beer. Ugh.
Germany is gonna be beer.
But I don't like beer.
So what? Can we talk about the OC, please?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Oh my god. So
Come
we cut from
with me.
We cut from Sandy and Jimmy, who are best of friends, to Julie and Kiki, who are best of friends now. Julie is like begging to have lunch with her and go shopping, and
Which made you really freak out and thought that they were engaged.
I was like, oh shit, she's trying to work a way to tell. Because, well, the reason I thought that is because the previously on thing had the moment where Sandy was like, she could end up as your mother-in-law or stepmother. Yes, Julie Cooper could end up being your stepmother. So I had that in my head, and then when she's like, I really want to talk to you about something, that's where my brain went. Anyway. The point is, Julie wants to get there's an interior design opening job at the company, and Julie Cooper wants it. Because maybe this is good. She's trying to find herself. She's trying to find a purpose instead of just leeching off of other people. She wants to do things. Of course, she doesn't have a lot of experience.
She wants to spend other people's money in order to decorate.
Sure, yeah.
That's all she wants to do.
So she gets like a trial run, right? Like, do the interior design on the model home, and we'll see what happens. We also learn, interestingly enough, that Julie Cooper, I think we knew this, kind of. We didn't know the exact... We knew that Marissa was an oops baby.
Yes, we did know that.
but we didn't know how old she was, and she was just 18 when Marissa was born, which means 18 plus 16 is 34. So Julie Cooper is my age. Holy shit. That makes me feel so old. I don't like it.
And so she's at least, how many years? We think that Kirsten is what, 39?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we said?
39.
38,
Yeah.
39.
But I'm starting to wonder if Kirsten is that old. Because...
Well, Kirsten did not have Seth when she was 18.
No. I mean, she's definitely older, but maybe like a couple years. I guess we haven't learned how Jimmy and Julie met, right? It doesn't seem like they met in school, because she lived out in, not Chino, but basically Chino, Riverside.
Yeah. You can't say I'm from Riverside.
And then he obviously... So I think we've got more to learn about this relationship, but yeah, we're starting to like get an idea of time frame.
We're really also checking what these writers actually said, which maybe some people hadn't done before.
We're keeping track, because the writers have in the past forgotten their own writing, so maybe they'll do it again. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. But Anna, Luke, and Summer back at school, they're all having lunch with a new guy, and his name is Danny. And Scott, let me tell you, Danny is funny. Danny is hilarious. Danny, every time that Danny is on screen, people are laughing.
Danny is not funny.
Scott, then why would people be laughing?
I don't know.
You know what is funny? You know what made me laugh in this scene? Not Danny.
Luke. Luke is so Danny is this guy. He's basically doing like a 90s Jim Carrey, right? Like an Ace Ventura-y Jim Carrey.
Like exactly how I opened the show.
Yeah. Well, it was weird. Your Jim Carrey was weird. It was just loud. It wasn't like, alrighty then. Do not go in there. Woo!
It's okay. I'm a limo driver. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, so Danny is kind of doing like a shitty Jim Carrey impression, and it's not funny. But, I mean, here, like, it makes sense that Summer thinks he's funny, because Summer's, like, putting on airs, right? Like, this is meant to make Seth jealous. Comedy is something that Seth Cohen prides himself on, and here we have Danny, this loud, stupid comedian. It makes sense that Luke is laughing, because Luke's stupid. And Luke's laughing is really funny. Like, Anna laughing is weird to me. I don't buy, like, this is the point where what the show wanted to do pushed against me a little bit, where I don't buy all these people actually finding this guy funny. I don't buy it. I buy Summer faking it. I buy Luke. I don't buy Anna, and I don't buy anyone else that actually finds this guy funny, because it's ridiculous. He's not fun, and it's not just Seth's point of view. It's not just Seth being jealous. He's just not funny. The things he says are like something like the CSI joke is like, somebody call CSI. It's like, it's bad. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke.
You know what I would do?
What?
I would think that he's funny in front of Seth just to make Seth irritated.
I know you would do that. I don't think Anna would.
Maybe that's what. No, maybe she's doing that because she knows that they have to have a little bit of strife.
I think
she's got to find that yeah in the ang.
So it's ya and ang now?
Well, she's trying to make it to yang.
Okay.
But she's just at the ang now.
Oh my god. I do think I do think there's an argument to be said that she is being kind, because obviously Summer is pretending this guy's hilarious and she's being kind and saying, but I don't know, if that was the intent of the show, I don't think it did a good job of that. I didn't like this. And he's so annoying. I hate him, and I hope he never ever comes back.
Okay. It's a very strong opinion of that Danny. Mm-hmm. Wish you had that strong of opinion about Oliver.
I think Danny is worse than Oliver.
Just take those words and stuff them right back in your mouth.
This is our yin and yang, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Your ang is Oliver. My yin is Danny.
You know, Danny is one of those people where you just go up to me, you say, Danny, cool it. And then he would be scared of you and he'd cool it. Oliver would be like, challenge accepted. And those are the type of people that I don't like.
Or he'd look at your sushi and do like the Kung Fu movie thing where you go, Your kung fu is very powerful. I hate that's a stupid joke. It's a bad joke. Anyway, talk to me about our new set. We have a new set.
So, Scott,
in the show.
we see high school. We see what high school is actually like. With in the student lounge area, there are pool tables. There's lots of couches. There's a cappuccino area.
They have a cappuccino maker, and like it looks like a Starbucks. They got the flavor thingies. And is this high school? Did you have this at your high school? Do all private high schools have this shit?
So here we go.
Uh-oh. What?
When I was in high school, no.
But?
Since I have left high school, I don't remember why I went back to do something at my high school. Maybe it was
Creepy.
whenever Meredith was still there and I was dropping something off. I don't even recall. But they had redone the inside, and now there's this whole home ec area and this cafe.
Wow.
That is where you, as students, get to make like bakery items and coffee things. And it's a class, so you can work there and get class credit. And then you can also work
Just
there
hang
and
out
get
there?
paid. Yeah.
Did you have a student lounge? We didn't have a student lounge.
No, we just had lots of areas in the like
Ours is basically like the
hallways
cafeteria.
with staff.
We had like the cafeteria. Well, like we had two cafeterias because one was new, and like the old the new cafeteria was closed except for lunch. But the old cafeteria was kind of like the place where you're allowed to hang out in between periods and before and after school.
Yeah, no, we didn't have.
We didn't have a lounge. There's certainly not with pool tables
No, we
and a
had
cappuccino maker
pool
and lots of
tables.
comfy couches. So many comfy couches.
No comfy
I remember some of my
couches.
teachers had comfy couches in their classrooms, and some people
yeah.
would hang out on those comfy couches between classes. If I were a teacher, I'd have a comfy couch in my classroom. This is very hard to say. It's a tongue twister. Comfy couch classroom.
Comfy couch classroom?
You know what, Elise? Go back to doing accents.
A comfy couch classroom.
By God, she's got it. The point is, Ryan and Oliver are now hanging out
yeah, those
in
people.
the student lounge. We learned that Oliver is a junior now, even though he was a senior when he was at Pacific, because he lost credits in the transfer.
Yeah.
Which again is a way of showing that like doing this transfer is weird, and it also means that like we can't hope that 3 months will go by and then Oliver will graduate and get out of our lives. He's going to be here forever.
3 more seasons, baby.
And then we have this moment where Oliver says he left Pacific, which is his old high school.
Oh, wait.
It's not quite what I did, but I'll take it. He left Pacific because of an incident, and the music gets ominous once again.
I thought, what? You can't mix the Lord of the Rings.
It was not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it was.
That's not, I don't know what you're doing. So we don't learn what this incident is, but we know there is an incident. And then Marissa shows up and then invites Ryan to come study French with them after school. And Ryan's like,
Oh, yes. Ryan.
didn't you live in France?
Exactly. Ryan pays attention to what people say. And he said he thinks that this is strange. Strange that you would live in France for years and then not be able to learn the language French.
The language French.
French.
Yeah, so I'm kind
There's something wrong with my brain.
I think so. I don't like Oliver. I'm kind of on his side here, though. Like, if you lived in France for a year when you were 13, you might pick up a little bit of the language, but not enough to, like, 4 years later, like, be able to do, like, classroom study French. You know what I mean? And maybe, like, I don't think he actually needs her help. He's obviously looking for an excuse to hang out with her. But just because, like, I don't know if I could live in Mexico. Maybe if I lived in Mexico for a year, I would, as a kid, I would not have needed help on Spanish. But I don't know. I just have a very hard time believing that, like,
You believe Oliver.
he would be fluent. Yeah.
You side with
I'm
Oliver.
on Oliver's side
You
here.
like Oliver.
I think you're jumping to conclusions a little bit, Ryan.
Ang.
So yeah, but this is like the first of many moments where Marissa has decided to hang out with Oliver, and Ryan excuses himself. He says, "No, I'm not. You go off, do your thing. I trust you." He doesn't really trust her, though. He doesn't.
He doesn't trust Oliver.
Well, but see, that's the thing. He says he doesn't trust Oliver, but what he's really saying is he doesn't trust her. Because if I trust you, if I genuinely trust you, it doesn't matter who you're hanging out with. Like, oh God, this guy's going to manipulate her into falling in love with him. I trust you. I trust your judgment. I trust your ability to know when you are in or not in a dangerous situation. I trust you.
You trust my muscles.
And yes,
That's what you trust.
And yes, I'd be worried about a person with a past like Oliver around you, and I would bring that worry up to you. But I would be like, I'm worried about, like, I would not do it in the way he does it. And I think one of the things that I think this episode does a really good job of showing is here's how to do everything wrong, even if you're right. As we'll see. So let's go on.
Okay, Seth and Ryan. Seth and Ryan time playing a video game.
They're playing Dynasty Warriors single player again. What is
And
up
you
with
know
this
what?
game? They've been
I don't know.
playing Dynasty Warriors for 8 months.
But Seth and Ryan have something in common in this episode, Scott.
That's true.
Seth doesn't trust Danny, and Ryan doesn't trust Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth thinks Ryan should just buck up and be his friend.
But he won't do the same thing. Because he's a hypocrite.
Yeah. Way to pronounce those words correctly, Scott.
I was just throwing you a bone, babe.
A hypocrite. It's the te.
I do like in this moment where like Seth is like, "Oh, I thought we were talking." It's like I was just trying for 1 minute to talk about me, and then we're back to you, Ryan.
Yeah.
But,
Which is normally what Seth does.
yeah, true.
Yes.
Seth then says Ryan's like, "Well, you could just choose to trust him, or you could just sneak into the office and read his file, or just be his friend." And the first thing was obviously supposed to be sarcastic. The idea of sneaking into the school and reading his personal file was sarcasm.
It was.
So what does Ryan do?
Ryan doesn't know sarcasm. Remember, the Coens had to teach him what sarcasm was.
That's true.
And so he hasn't quite picked up on it really yet.
So what does he do?
So he goes and he sneaks into the records room at the school and he finds Oliver's file.
And he starts reading Oliver's file, but
And
then
he gets caught.
bam!
Yeah.
There's a security guard there that says, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then light shines into his eyes and yeah.
Yeah.
And we go to commercial.
Cut to next day. The dean is talking to Ryan. This could be a possible suspension or expulsion, and she just wants to know why he would do this. Well, Ryan doesn't trust that kid. But evidently, Oliver, in order to get into Harbor, had to pass the same screening process that everyone else went through. And then Ryan brings up the incident again, and the fact that this incident, he had learned, is when Oliver was found because at Pacific, he was in the bathroom, hunched over with his wrist slit because the girl that he was obsessed with broke up with him.
And we presume we're not told the name of this girl. I presume her name is Natalie.
Yes, you presume her name is Natalie.
But he did
Natalie.
he did try to kill himself over a girl. Yeah. And he's been institutionalized since then, and he's been through therapy, and he's obviously
he's obsessed with this new girl, Scott.
What new girl?
Marissa.
Well, we don't know that though. But here,
Scott.
Like, I love this scene though because like we have the adults in the room, and we have Ryan basically explain the situation, and they're like, "Yeah, look, he's had a rough past, but this school prides itself on taking in people who have a rough past but a lot of potential, like you, Ryan." You had a rough past. You stole a car. You beat people up. You burned a house down. You have had a rough past. But we are going to give you a chance. And we're going to give Oliver a chance as well. And they might be wrong to do that. But that's what they're going to do. And he's like, "No, I'm just worried about Marissa. I'm just worried about..." It's like... It's brilliant because they say, "Well, has he said anything threatening towards her?" And Ryan's like, "No. She's just hanging out with him a lot." And that's like the perfect way. If I'm an adult and someone says that to me, I'm going to be like, "Oh, so you're just jealous." And
And yes, he is.
Yeah, but like he just does at every pass. He is doing the worst possible choice that makes him look the most unhinged, and like, and what I love about it is Oliver. Like in the last episode, we saw Oliver manipulating, right? We saw Oliver like pushing Ryan, saying things, doing. In this episode, he doesn't do anything. He's just got to back off and let Ryan destroy himself. And that's exactly what Ryan does. And I think that's so important because Ryan is doing this wrong. He's doing this wrong.
Wrong for him, right for Oliver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anna, though, our other couple, approaches her boyfriend, Seth, with 2 tickets to Bright Eyes. I know I liked this band, but I, for the life of me, can't remember any of their songs.
This is the first day of my life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I loved them.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Yeah.
Danny walks up, and Elise has here in the notes, is funny? Question mark. He
Scott,
pretends
he's funny.
He pretends to see something on Seth's shirt.
That one joke that nobody does anymore, but it, like everybody should do it.
It kills.
It's the one where it's like, oh, hey, I think I see something on your shirt. And then when they look down, you just hit them on the nose with
flick
your
their
finger.
nose.
I mean, Scott, every single time people do that, it's endless laughter. You won't get, any sort of dry eye. They'll be crying.
Yeah.
Keeled over.
You know my favorite part about it, though?
Gut-wrenching.
Is when you don't make it just like a quick, 5-second beat. But you continuously tell the person, no, trust me. Dude, no, trust me. You really got something there. Dude, trust me. And then your girlfriend gets in on it for some reason because Anna goes, yeah, Seth, you do have something
and even
right
the
there.
cameraman is in on it because they don't show on the shirt.
Yeah, they don't
that
show the
we
shirt.
know that
Yeah.
there's nothing there, and then he's supposed to do a joke. But
And then he boops his nose, and everyone laughs hysterically because it's so funny.
that Danny,
I hate him.
he's the funniest guy in the whole show. I just can't. I just can't.
Anna says that Seth is jealous, which he is.
Yeah.
And if he really cared about Summer, he would just
Claim the friend.
claim the friend.
Is that what you were thinking about
yes,
earlier?
It was claim the friend. I remembered the statement because it's a weird thing to say that I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anymore. Claim the friend. But I like how our A plot and our B plot are mirroring each other here.
Yeah.
I think that's good writing.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
This Josh Schwartz
All the
guy
time.
knows what he's doing.
Okay, Scott, now this is the most important part.
Is it?
I've got a big, big question with
What's
this next
up?
thing. So Sandy and Jimmy are trying to think about ways in order to make the Lighthouse a great restaurant. Mm-hmm. So Scott,
What?
it's not one. Mm-hmm. The key to their success is 2 different meatloafs on the menu. Scott, how would you not, this is the most important question, how would you not choose to go to a restaurant that has 2 meatloafs on the menu?
Future Michelin star winning restaurant.
Actually, let's just not make it only 2. Let's make it only meatloaf.
The Lighthouse meatloaf.
The meat house.
The light loaf.
No, you don't want a light loaf. You want a heavy meatloaf.
Do you think if people saw 2 meatloafs on a menu, they would be like, well, we got to come back to try the other meatloaf?
I think so. And think about all the different types of meatloaf you could have. The different flavors in the base, like the normal beef meatloaf.
Yeah.
But you could also have a lamb meatloaf.
Yeah.
You could have
Turkey meatloaf.
You could even do a veggie meatloaf with
Whoa.
all different types of beans.
Whoa.
Now, then could we really call it meatloaf?
I don't think bean loaf has quite the same ring to it.
Sounds like poop.
Look, I don't.
It look like poop.
I want to be confident about Sandy and Jimmy's ability to run a restaurant, and I hope the Lighthouse is successful. But starting this off,
2
with
meatloafs.
2 meatloafs is a bold claim. They are going to do a raw bar. That's a good idea. They're going to have only good liquor. They got good ideas here.
Yeah.
They just don't know anything about. They need a manager.
But Jimmy
that
was the manager.
in college.
Who cares?
They need a manager that knows how to run a restaurant, I think. That would be step 1 in my opinion.
They need Julie.
They do not need Julie. Nobody needs Julie.
Caleb needs Julie.
Speaking of Julie, we cut to the other adult story, the D plot.
Z. Nobody really cares about this in this episode. Julie, though, is trying to do this whole interior decorating thing, and she wants to do it her way. Now, her way requires her to have some space to work in, but she's not given an office because she's not really an employee, so she decides to take over Kiki's office. So she sets up shop there and pretty much irritates Kirsten.
But she's like,
Julie refuses to use the usual vendors.
yeah, well, like she's like going ham on this thing, right? Like she's all over the place. She's like, new vendor. She's got like a whole team of people. She's like, we got 72 hours, people. I need your purchase orders. But like, it seems like to me, she has it under control, and it doesn't end up being that way. But at the moment, I was like, wow, she seems like she's got this whole project management thing down. Turns out, no, but interesting.
Hey, Scott. Aspirational.
Yeah, Julie says she wants to sell an aspirational lifestyle. And Kirsten says, is that even a word? Aspirational? I've never... You know that's a word, right?
I do.
I think most people know that aspirational is a word. I couldn't tell if that was the show trying to be like clever or tell a joke there, but if it was kind of like a Danny joke.
Not a good one.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, Danny. Ryan sees in the hallway with Marissa. So what happens is Oliver gives Marissa a note and she puts it in her locker. Now, you see someone give someone a note in the hallway and you immediately think there's got to be something juicy on that piece of paper.
I think that's a fair conclusion to jump to.
Yeah. So Ryan does the right thing, Scott. And he goes and he gets that note from the locker because
You're right.
every decision that Ryan makes, I mean, like...
He breaks into her locker and gets the note. Perfect.
He's like
idea.
me with music. You think it, you do it. I think it, I sing it.
It's great.
Yep.
I'm glad you do that with just music and not crimes.
Yeah. Me too. Life choices. Yeah. So what's going on here? Sandy and Kirsten are at home with Ryan. They don't know that he just broke into Marissa's locker, but they do know that he did break into the school and that Oliver is bad news. In this moment, Ryan is upset and he actually questions if Sandy and Kirsten are going to kick him out. And they say no. They say that at this moment, Ryan's going to feel the full weight of being a Cohen. Now, do we know what those consequences are? No. They say something's going to happen, but you know what happens? He just goes and talks to Seth, who is eavesdropping on the conversation. And that's when Ryan admits to Seth that he broke into Marissa's locker and he took the letter.
And Seth is like, dude, you broke into her locker and stole a letter. You're acting crazy. Whatever you do, don't read the letter.
He was happy that Ryan hadn't read the letter yet. And he wanted him to keep it that way. But when someone says don't push the red button, what do, Scott? When someone says don't push the red button, I don't push the red button because I follow directions.
I'm going to push that button.
You want to push that button.
I'm going to push that button.
And that's what Ryan does. Ryan pushes that button. He opens that letter. He reads it. And then he goes and he has to tell Seth the next morning that he read the letter and that he needs to tell Seth what the letter said.
Here's the problem with doing something bad is when you do something bad that you're not supposed to do and then you find out information that you weren't supposed to have because you did the bad thing, you can't really tell anyone about it because you're not supposed to have it.
Illegal search and seizure.
Exactly.
Yep. Can't use it in court. Inadmissible. Aspirational.
What?
Anyways, so Seth doesn't want to know what's in the letter because he says that anyone that ever reads this letter is going to be like The Ring.
Yeah. You read this letter and you die.
And Seth's pretty much right. I mean, the relationship dies, right? Yeah.
Well, he says you've committed a federal offense, which is reading tampering with the mail is a federal offense. This doesn't quite
It's not
count.
real mail, so it
It's
doesn't
not.
really
Yeah,
count.
this mail was not handled by the post. But he also says if Marissa finds out you did this, you're done. And he's right about that.
He
But
is.
Ryan doesn't care because the letter is even worse than he thought it was. It says he's in love with her. He can't live without her. And Ryan is freaking out.
Yeah.
Ryan is losing it. He's losing it here.
Because he thinks he's right, Scott.
And he is right. But just calm yourself,
down.
dude.
You gotta calm down.
So then we cut to Julie.
Who's distraught.
She's crying.
Just like Ryan.
Yeah.
They're so upset. Ryan and Julie are basically the same people. Let's just talk about who's the same people. Okay. So Ryan and Julie, same. Anna and Seth, same.
Okay. Sandy and
Summer,
what? No.
same. Sandy and Caleb.
They hate each other. They're much more of a yin and a yang.
Okay. Well, who's Sandy like then?
I don't think Sandy's like anyone. I think my eyebrow boy is unique.
Okay. What about Jimmy?
Jimmy and Caleb.
I was gonna say Jimmy and Marissa. Marissa and
Julie.
so Marissa's Ryan.
Marissa
then?
and Haley. Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Summer.
Yeah. Summer? Mm-hmm. Julie. Summer and Julie.
Everybody's like Julie. So many different varieties of Julie in there.
Yeah, but the point is Julie is distraught. She's upset because all her planning, obviously, as Kirsten predicted, there was not enough time to do all the ridiculous stuff she wanted to do. Yeah. And now she's up against the wall. And Julie, being the wonderful, kind Kirsten, being the wonderful, kind person she is, decides to help her out anyway. We're going to go back to the usual vendors. We're just going to do it the way it was normally done. And it might be...
not what Julie wanted.
Not what we wanted to do, but it's going to be something.
Which is fine. You get the job done.
Get the job done. Immigrants.
I knew you were going to do that. Okay, so Seth and Anna are going to that wonderful student lounge that has all of the things that you would ever want as a student.
Smoothies.
And they're ordering smoothies, and Seth orders his smoothie, and then Anna orders the same one, but they can't have the same one, Scott, because this whole episode is about them doing things differently.
Yep.
So Anna adds something else into her smoothie, and the whole world has changed.
That solves all their problems.
Yeah, the whole episode is over. Mm-hmm. Done. So Danny does impressions now, Scott. Not only is Danny funny with the little boop joke on the nose, but Danny does impressions.
They're not good, though.
Scott, they're great. And Seth decides that he's going to invite Danny over to watch recorded Leno and Sean Williams Scott. Because everyone knows that Leno doesn't get his own original comedy. He steals it from other people.
What?
Jay Leno.
What about him?
He steals comedy from people.
From who?
I don't know. There's a big news scandal about it for years in the news.
What? I've never heard
Jay
this.
Leno stealing comedy.
What?
Oh, yeah. How did you not hear about this?
I don't understand why you're bringing it up now, though.
Jay Leno stealing jokes. Well, obviously, it's not going to be
It's not going to be
images. Gosh.
I just want to see you flounder here.
A brief history of Jay Leno's joke stealing. Joke stealing. Jay Leno does that all the time. Joke stealing from these people.
Yeah, he's stealing from Sean William Scott, I guess is your point. I don't know where you're going with this.
Danny steals jokes. The nose boop. It's Seth's deal.
What?
Everyone knows they like the nose boop from Seth.
What?
I'd like Seth to boop my nose.
Okay, we need to move on. This episode's going very long.
Why is it so long?
Because we're an hour in.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go through here. I forgot where I was. Seth invites Danny to go over. Okay, so and then Sandy puts a down payment, or he wants to put a down payment on the restaurant, but Jamie's really concerned that he's not going to be able to pull his own weight, so Jimmy doesn't really want to do the restaurant anymore. So then Ryan tries to put the letter back in Marissa's locker.
Slow down. Just because we're running late doesn't mean you talk fast.
Ryan tries to put the letter back in Marissa's locker, and he's caught by Oliver. But boop boop boop.
My boy bloop bloop bloops in and saves the day.
Yeah. Two people who don't like Oliver, Luke and Ryan. Mm-hmm. And Luke,
even last week, Luke was like on the same page as
Yeah.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's trying to steal Marissa. Yeah. Say the word and I will drop The Great Gatsby.
Hey, Scott.
What?
Did you know that Luke reads?
Luke reads books.
Or at least
he understands enough
heard
of
something in class one day and he was like, great? Oh, yeah, I'm great. Gatsby. Gatsby got to get me going on those. I don't know. I tried. I
What
failed.
was that?
I
was
failed.
awful.
Yeah, it's not good. Anyways, I'm Danny.
I mean, that's a correct reference. He uses it right. He's
Yeah, he
kind
does.
Oliver's kind of a Gatsby in this situation.
Yeah.
He's the rich guy that moves in and tries to take the woman.
Yeah.
Luke, my boy.
Yeah.
Good
Got
job.
He's got it. So cut to Danny playing video games at the Cohen's house. Mm-hmm. And Danny's trying to tell jokes and Sandy walks in. And Sandy just looks at him. And then Sandy and Seth go to congregate in the kitchen. And Sandy's wondering why Seth is hanging out with that guy because he's not funny. And he makes Ryan look funny. Everyone knows Ryan's not funny.
I have never been so happy in this moment. If Sandy Cohen had thought Danny looked funny as well, I would have lost all respect for Sandy Cohen. But here's my boy. My boy knows what's funny. And
Calling it like
Sandy,
it is.
thank God, knows exactly what Danny is, which is not funny.
Yeah, it's true. But while they're playing video games, Danny asks Seth if he could, whenever Seth is around Summer, to just not be as funny. Because the whole reason that Danny's trying to be this funny is because all that Summer goes on and on about is how Seth Cohen is the funniest person that she's ever met. And about how much she, I guess, kind of likes hanging around him for that reason. And so Seth gets that little glimmer in his eye. He has got a little curl the edge of his mouth. And he tells Danny, all you need to do is to just go big.
Yeah, you've been going kind of small. You got to go big.
Yeah.
So, hey, babe.
Yeah.
Did Seth just tank this relationship?
Yeah, he did.
That's not good.
You know what? It's fine.
Why is it fine?
Because I like Seth more than I like Danny.
I mean, me too.
And if I have to pick between two people to watch for the next few years of our life, I pick Seth.
So a metatextual reason. You just don't want to see Danny in any more scenes. Fair.
Okay.
Very fair.
Okay. Yep. The dean calls Marissa into her office to warn her about Ryan.
I loved this scene because she calls her in and you think it's about Oliver. It's like, I wanted to come warn you about one of our students that I know you have a close relationship with. And Marissa's like, I know everything about Oliver. Does she? Did Oliver tell the full extent of the incident to Marissa, you think?
I don't think it's that she knows everything, but she's been warned by so many people.
Sure, but do you think that Oliver has told her the full extent of the incident? Okay. But the dean says, no, I'm here to talk to you about this crazy boy named Ryan.
Yeah, so then she evidently goes into everything that had happened with Ryan in the past week. And when Ryan leaves detention, Marissa finds him after to call him out about all of it because Ryan had lied to her about hanging out with the French club, studying or whatever afterwards because he said he had to go help Kirsten, but he didn't have to go help Kirsten. He had to go serve detention for what he did.
Do you think the dean overstepped her bounds in this regard?
No.
It is her job to inform her students about aspects of their personal relationships?
If there's a student who you're extremely invested and cared about and has seen for a while and they are making a very poor relationship choice, I think that it is fine to say, I think that's fine. I've done that before. Marissa finds him afterwards and so she says she can't trust him because she knows about the break-in, and then Ryan tells Marissa about the note, and then he finds out that the note wasn't actually for Marissa, it was for Natalie.
Do you believe that?
I don't know if I can answer this question.
Okay.
Do I believe?
I don't believe that the note was for Natalie.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I think that's a very convenient excuse. Maybe that's honestly what he said to her. Yeah, this is a note just for Natalie. I just wanted you to read it. But he wrote it for her.
For Marissa?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
think. But the end of this thing is the breakup. It's the end of the relationship. Marissa says, I can't do this anymore because I don't trust you. You didn't trust me. Well, now because of your actions, I don't trust you.
But someone who does trust someone else is Caleb trusting Julie with now all things interior design because he loves the decorating. He hires her and doesn't even care that it wasn't even her that did it. It was all Kirsten.
Well, he doesn't know. He thinks it was Julie. And I love that moment at the very end of the scene where Caleb sees the fountain that Julie had picked out and is like, Kiki, what were you thinking?
It's funny.
So now Julie and Kirsten work together. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so then Seth goes to talk to Summer about how Danny is just too big now. Really, they're just talking, and Seth doesn't go to initiate that. He's just going to talk to Summer, and then Summer says, Danny's just too big. She thinks that Summer thinks she's going to end up bitter and alone.
So she did tank. He did tank their relationship, and now Summer's worried about being alone. But Seth is like, bloop bloop blooping
Seth's
in
just
there,
playing with that scarf that he is matchy with Anna on. And then after Anna goes and leaves the conversation, Seth offers to Summer to come over and watch some comedy.
The Daily Show. The Daily Show.
Oh, The Daily Show.
Mm-hmm. The Scott Daily Show.
Yeah, our show.
I mean, in 2004, The Daily Show was the shit.
I didn't really know.
The middle of the Bush years? Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. Jon Stewart.
Okay. Well.
So these scarves, Elise. These scarves.
They don't match.
I know they're making a point here. They're having them both wear matching scarves, Anna and Seth, to draw a point here. But the scarf does not look good on Seth. And I don't believe he actually would have worn the scarf. I've never seen him wear a scarf before in the show. It's literally just they did it for the moment, and it doesn't make sense outside of that context. I thought it was stupid.
True. Okay. Well, Sandy and Jimmy by the lighthouse. Into that. We'll find out what happens with that later.
Yay.
But Oliver and Ryan are both in the student lounge, and Oliver gives... Oh, sorry. Anyway, so Oliver gives him these like nasty, mean eagle eyes in the background. So then Oliver walks up and is talking to Ryan about how he heard what happened. At this point, Ryan apologizes for kind of blowing everything out of proportion and taking everything the wrong way.
But Oliver knows he's won.
Yeah.
And so Oliver decides it's gloating time.
Yeah, so he asks Ryan if he thought that the only reason he was there was for Marissa.
And then says, yup.
Yeah, basically he says, here's the deal. Marissa and I connect. She understands me and is the only person on the planet who gets me, and that he can't fight fate.
And in this moment, you're so pissed off on behalf of Ryan, but you're like, Ryan, whatever you do...
New Year's resolution.
Remember that New Year's resolution. Hold on to it. You and your buddy Luke. Let Luke Great Gatsby him. Don't Gatsby him yourself. Don't do it yourself. Don't take down Gatsby.
But that's when we realize that this is a TV screen, and no matter how much we yell at Ryan, it's not going to get through to him.
And so Ryan jumps up, punches Oliver right in the face twice, screaming, "You stay away from her," as Marissa walks in. And so what does Marissa and everyone else in the school see? Oliver, bleeding from the mouth, wounded on the floor, innocent. Luke screaming.
Ryan,
screaming, insane.
Stay away from her.
Jealous. It's the worst possible thing ever.
Yeah.
Good job, Ryan. Good job.
And
you've officially been beaten.
Yep.
You stupid idiot.
Yep.
Oliver might have gotten punched in the face, but Ryan's the one that just got beat.
It's great, Scott.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about what is so 2000s this week.
What is so 2000s?
We have Bright Eyes, who I felt like was very popular in the early 2000s.
Yeah, because I listened to him, even though I can't remember that
we
song.
have Sean William Scott, super popular.
Oh man, this
in
was
the 2000s.
Yeah.
This was at the height of his career. Where's Sean William Scott now?
He was in a movie last year, actually.
Oh, was he?
I saw it at Fantastic Fest. It was good.
Oh, well,
I like Sean William Scott. I think he got typecast as the Stifler type after American Pie, and I think it was very successful for him for a while. But then he couldn't break out of that. But I think he's a good actor,
Okay.
and
Well,
I think he's still on the Lethal Weapon TV show. I think it might have been canceled, but he was on the Lethal Weapon TV show. I don't know. He's had a good career.
Rounding this out
I don't
with
think he's complaining.
The Ring. Last of the three. I'm going to say that's so 2000s. My pick is Sean William Scott.
I have a question for you.
What?
Have you seen The Ring? Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that gave you like super big nightmares, right?
Yes. That's the one that has the staticky TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That I told you about.
With the girl with the hair down her face. Samara.
Yeah.
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 7 days.
I mean, I try to block these scary movies out of my my brain.
I love that movie.
I'm glad you
I
liked
went to
it.
that movie not knowing it was a scary movie because I just went with some friends and I was like, oh, holy crap, this is a scary movie and I'm very scared and I loved it.
I'm sure you did.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Okay.
I am also going to vote for Sean William Scott because when I think of mid-2000s, I think of Mr. Sean William Scott.
Because you just always have to agree with me because you're the Anna to my Seth.
Fine, I pick The Ring because it came out. When did The Ring come out? Did you even check? Or did you just assume?
I just assumed.
The Ring. When did The Ring come out? Well, The Ring 2 came out in 2005. 2002. So,
Yeah, you're welcome.
touche at least.
Okay. All right, Scott. So now I think it's time that we check in on all of these couples.
All
from
right,
this
let's
week.
do
the relationship status, Scott. So first up, okay. First, we have Coop and Ryan. So last week, Coop and Ryan were at a 5 out of 10. Ryan cannot let this Oliver kid go and doesn't believe he is at the school for the right reasons. Ryan breaks school rules and also ruins the trust of Marissa, who can't do this anymore. 2 out of 10.
All right.
How are Seth and Summer?
Last week we gave Seth and Summer a 3 out of 10. Seth is bothered by the new funny man, and I'll put funny in quotes there, in Summer's life. While he doesn't come out and say he's jealous, he is jealous. Does this jealousy mean that Seth feels that he has chosen the wrong lady? Maybe. We're going to bump them up, Elise, to 4 out of 10.
This week, Seth and Anna. Last week were a 6 out of 10, but now 2 names, but the same person. Seth and Anna realize how similar they are this week, and it freaks them out. They spend all the time they can trying to be different people. Scott, if you can't be yourself in a relationship, though, that isn't a good sign. So we're going to bump them down 1 point to a 5 out of 10.
There is only so many times where you turn down the tuna melt just to not be like the person you're dating when you're like, hey, I want a tuna melt.
Yeah. Okay. Scott, how are Sandy and Kirsten Cohen this week?
Last week we gave them a perfect 10 out of 10. This week, nothing bad, nothing good. Our favorite couple in the world.
Yeah.
Hold steady. Once again, they're perfect. 10 out of 10.
I mean, I think we might be the favorite couple in the world, but it's okay for the show. All right, this week, Julie Cooper and Caleb
if we
Nichol.
could be half of what Sandy and Kirsten are, I'd call us a success.
I hope you keep singing that tune. All right.
Spoilers.
This week, Julie Cooper and Caleb Nichol. Last week, we're at a 7 out of 10. But this week, Julie doesn't want to disappoint Caleb as he trusts her to take on responsibility to his business. Scott, she cares about what he thinks and wants to please Caleb. So this week.
You
Sorry,
messed
I
that up
lost.
so bad.
8 out of 10.
Next up, we have Haley Nichol and Jimmy Cooper, who are on this list for some reason I don't understand. Last week, we gave him a 3 out of 10. Haley must not be invested if she doesn't stick around for old Jimmy. She's not in this episode at all. And we're going to give them a 2 out of 10 because Jimmy Cooper is now dating the Lighthouse.
Okay, this
Boom.
week, Oliver and Natalie. Last week, we're at a 0 out of 10. This week, Oliver wants to get back together, but said he is soulmates with Marissa.
Well, that seems contradictory.
Yeah.
0 out of 10.
Yep.
Fuck
still.
'em.
Okay. What do you think's going to happen next week?
Well, this is the easiest prediction I've ever made in my entire life because next week's episode is called The Truth. So I think the truth about Oliver is going to finally, hopefully, come out. Hopefully not too late.
Little too
Marissa.
much too late.
I also think this is going to be one of those ones where things have more than one meaning. So I think there's going to be some Summer, Seth, or maybe the truth is revealed between Summer and Anna and Seth, and the truth is they just don't work.
Okay.
So there you go.
We shall find out, Scott.
Yes, we will find out next week on episode 18 of Whatcha Say, covering episode 18 of the OC, The Truth. That's all we have time for this week. If you like this podcast, you can check it and all the other shows we do over at our website, www.doofmedia.com.
Also consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/doofmedia.
/doofmedia. If you enter a backslash, you will not get there. Patreon.com/doofmedia. There you can donate $1 a month or whatever else you can afford to get tons of great extra content, access to our Discord, to chat with Elise, who goes on the Discord all the time.
I read it sometimes. Mm-hmm. I really read our channel.
I know.
And then if I get pinged on other things.
I know. I'm going to start pinging you everywhere.
No. Ping.
God, we're Anna and Seth.
But we're not.
Elise?
Yang.
How did this happen?
Yep.
Well,
you gave me a ring, and then we said I do.
Oh, that's not what I mean. What else can they do?
If you happen to be listening via Apple Podcast, you can just head on right there and just drop us a rating and a review. That's all I got.
That is it. So we will see you all next week on episode 18, The Truth. Farewell from the OC. You bitches.